Hello and welcome to Devils United. No, Maisy hasn't got older and uglier. It's me. Obviously, Andy's sitting in for Maisy while she is sunning herself in San Francisco. Obviously, joining me is my other partner in crime, Chloe, tonight. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. I had my flu jab today, so I'm a little bit tired. But I'm happy to podcast. Maisy, if you're watching this, we miss you and we hope you're having a great time in San Francisco.
Yeah, Maisy's like, don't mess this up. I've given you keys to my car. Don't you dare do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say Henry, unfortunately, hopefully he'll stank around, mate, and you're not disappointed too much that it's me. But anyway, let's go on that. Well, I'm tired because I'm tired from my party in the park yesterday, which was a 3-0 win against Everton. Obviously, you're with me as well, Chloe. What's your thoughts on the game?
I thought we played really well. I think the game overall, I think we could have had more goals. I think we were lucky to come away with a clean sheet. Everton did have some good chances, but we were defensive. We were brilliant. For me, Four had her best game. Playing her on the left wing is working out really well, and hopefully that's something that if at the minute we're seeing that Hannah's getting switched a lot or being subbed out and Leah's going at the back. So hopefully that might change where when Honor comes back, Four might go back to the bench, but probably will come on to the pitch for maybe Hannah or as a centre back. But for me, she's playing really well at left back.
Yeah, I mean, we've all criticised for. I mean, she's looked very wobbly in the past. You could argue last season she had to play through bad form because there was nobody available to switch her out when she was wobbling last season. But she was our best player on the pitch yesterday. And I think that obviously I was at Durham as well, and the less said about that one, the better. One of the things I did notice was obviously I think the video surfaced on social media where Four was like, "Come on," I was holding the badge. Now she did it again on Sunday, and you can't fake that. You can't fake that really. Especially because I think as the game's got a lot bigger and there's more people there, and it was a genuine sellout yesterday, not a WOSO sellout where we sort of say it's sold out and pick a number. It was genuinely quite busy. They're kind of taught to block the crowd out a little bit as much as they enjoy hearing us. So for her to actually interact directly mid game, that annihilator and that that's really important, I think. And I think it will definitely endear her to the fans. She's maybe not the first team player that she should be, but that she might think she should be. Honor very much is so, but depending on what happens with Honor next year, as well. And we had a period of time where Hannah was down. We are quite weak in relation to numbers in defence. But obviously, just to bring it up a little bit, obviously. Nikita Paris after 13 minutes, Leah Galt with a great header, Leah Galton after 55, and a fantastic goal by Hayley Ladd as well. I think it's so weird, really, isn't it? Obviously, we'll go to the comments in a second, but it's so weird, isn't it? How we've basically got two sides of Man United. You've got a fantastic team that's top of the league at the moment, and you've got the team that plays in the cups. I have a theory on what the difference is. What's your theory?
It's one of them. You're always going to have a B team. You are always going to have that. But I think our defence in the league, even though it's had to change with Honor being injured, Honor having her concussion.
Yeah.
I think for me, we've gelled as a team. We have, and it's just getting that team and that dynamic for the league games. And I think obviously we've got Everton coming up in the Conti Cup this month, November, and I think it's going to be make or break. It's Mark's going to have to think about, does he play the same side that he played against Everton in the league and maybe drop Bagley?
Yeah.
I know we'll probably touch on this when it comes to the podcast, but for me, it's one of them that now Mark's going to have to think about. Like, if we win these games, we could potentially still get through, but we have to win these next 2 games.
Yeah, I've seen contradictory in that. I've seen Jamie Spencer reporting it's done and dusted. I've seen other people saying that, that it is. I don't know. I think we don't know, do we? I mean, my theory is, like last season, we were too weak. If everybody was fit from day one to the end of the season, we would have been a chance of third place. But obviously, in the season of WSL, they never are. So we dropped off. This season, we've got a strong enough front with depth to probably have a challenge for the third place.
Yeah.
But Conti Cup is your B team, and our B team still needs filling out. That's the thing. Now, I have a bit of a thing on Bagley, but I know a lot of people disagree. You disagree. Others have disagreed about, is she good enough for our number 2? Is she? Because there's certain things I don't like how tall she is. Well, the woman can't help that. That's fixed at her age. So, we need to see what the options are. But I think we definitely have some options, and it was great yesterday to watch the game, to watch the win, and to feel like we've got some momentum going into Chelsea, which is obviously the subject of tonight's pod. So obviously, I'll just say hello to some people that'll be in the comments as well. Obviously, thanks for that, Paul. Yeah, we're all right. As I said, can't argue. Apart from the fact I was in Liverpool yesterday, can't argue with yesterday. No offense, Henry. All right, great to see you. Thanks for that, Reese. Yeah, hopefully we'll see if Maisy lets me do it next week while she's still away. Hi, Luca. Nice to see you. Obviously, same with yourself, Ravi, as well. Nippon as well. Everton looked poor. Yeah, it was weird. It was like they did and they didn't. So for the first part of the game, we didn't look like we were going to cause them issues. They weren't going to cause us issues either. I think we just kind of just slowly turned the pressure up a little bit when we played them. Obviously, hi to Nippon as well, and obviously hi to Robert as well there as well. So obviously, now we can't put it off any longer. Chelsea, Sunday tickets still available in the terrace. If you've never done LSV, if you're anywhere near the Northwest, get a ticket. You're not going to recognize it. You're not going to regret it. It's going to be a proper sold out stadium. If we beat Chelsea, you only really, it's kind of a little bit like the Scottish Premiership in the men's. There's certain teams, if you beat them once or twice a season, you kind of guarantee a certain position. And especially because Chelsea messed up against Liverpool first game of the season, at the minute we're level on points with Arsenal. We've got a game in hand on Arsenal, first place. But Chelsea have played one more game than us, and they're in third position. So when I say Chelsea away, and I say that it's Sunday, what do you think?
It can't come quick enough.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to rush the week away. I think we are both in work, so it's one of them where it's a nice build up. We can look at the social medias for both teams. We can see what Emma and Mark are saying about the players, and I think knowing that it's going to be a potentially big attendance, and yeah, like Andy said, please go and get your tickets for the game, because we do want this as a sellout. It's one of our
£6. You go McDonald's and see if you can get a medium meal for £6. You can't. So I would definitely suggest it.
But if we could get a sellout crowd, like Andy was saying, it's £6 to get a ticket for it, and the standing section is finally open. I know if you've been to LSV, you would have seen us and the Barmy Army, most of the other supporters standing up at the back, and this is what we wanted. We've wanted this terrace open for us to be able to stand up and be able, not have the stewards telling us not to. So for us, if you could get if you've got a season ticket and you want to move over to the standing section, please do so. Or if you want to buy a ticket and stand with us in the standing section, please do, because this is going to be a game that is going to it's going to be one of them that this could potentially decide who's in the top three. Because if we can come out of this game with a point, that's better than nothing for me. I would rather come out with a point and a draw and still remain unbeaten than lose. Because I think even though we've got a game in hand on Chelsea, which is good, it's against Tottenham, but Tottenham beat Brighton 8-0 yesterday, and that for me, that was a shock. And I think we'll probably touch on a bit more about the football in a bit from the last night's games. But it's one of them that if we win, it's going to be big for us. It's going to be one of them that we've never beat Chelsea. We've drawn against them, we've lost against them, but we've never beat them. And that's going to be what we want. We want to beat them. We want to keep that clean sheet. We want to keep that unbeaten streak going ahead. And like what someone said yesterday, someone will lose their unbeaten record.
Yeah.
Whether it's us or Chelsea. But if it's a draw, you kind of say it's not. You don't lose it because you're both still unbeaten. You've both not lost it. So I think for me, it's going to be a tough game. The girls have got to be ready for it. We've got Leslie back. We've got Honours hopefully back, and we're hoping Grace is back because we got told that for the game yesterday that Grace will be back and she wasn't. So fingers crossed, Grace Clinton will be back. I'm sure we'll get a debut against Chelsea because she's definitely a player that I think will do us really well. And again, we'll touch on it in a few minutes about the team, about both teams. But yeah, if you can get tickets to come down and see one of the best matches that is probably going to be in the first half of the season, then please do so. It's £6. Let's get this stadium sold out. Let's get it at full capacity, and let's show the girls that we're there to support them. And there's no messing around now.
100%. Obviously, a huge game as Andrew's put in there as well. I mean, the thing is, if you want Honor to stay, you want Russo to stay. These are the games that are going to make that decision. Ideally, we're going to need, Russo can sign a pre-contract agreement with Leon from January. So we need to ideally be looking like we're going to get at least third by then, and it'd be more guaranteed sort of towards the end of the season. I mean, my things, I think there's a few stars that align for this game. I've just been having a look as well as Chloe was making excellent points there. According to Google at the minute, and obviously we're Monday, so a few days out from the game, there is a 78% chance of rain at kickoff. So you're looking at under the lights, you're looking at the rain, you're looking at the atmosphere. This is why we all get into football. This is it, really. Yeah, everybody likes playing games, and it's nice and sunny and nice and warm. But this is the thing. There's going to be sliding in. It's going to be, we don't know who the rest's going to be just yet, but typically the rest are pretty weak. And I think the main thing, and I'm asked maybe Chloe about her view on this, and I obviously get well soon for Emma Hayes. And obviously, I wouldn't wish what happened on anybody, but I believe she's still going to be out next week. So I think the thing is, we've got more of a chance because, all right, she'll be in the ear of her deputy, I'm sure, but she's not on the sideline. And I think the main issue when it comes to Chelsea is psychological. And I think, Emma Hayes, I think makes it clear with Mark. I know they walked out together, pointing at our fans. She actually said a nice thing. She apparently said to Mark, "Oh wow, look at all your away fans." But there's still that interaction with somebody. Let's be honest, is a 10 times better manager than Mark Skinner. Do you think that Emma not being there is going to be a benefit for us?
I think it will be, but I also don't think it will be because you want to see the best managers at the games.
Yeah, I'm not wishing it. I'm just saying it happens to be a fact. So how is it going to affect the game?
I don't think it'll affect it. At the end of the day, she's going to be with the assistant manager. She's going to be, like you said, in the ear of him. She's going to have spoke to him on the phones and spoke to the players and done all over Zooms and everything. And she's going to know what's going on, and she's going to be the one that's doing all the tactical, telling them about the tactics and stuff, and she's still going to be part of the squad, but not there. You're going to see Emma's impact on the game. You are going to see that, but she's not going to be there in person. And like Andy said, get well soon, Emma. Not nice to hear what she's been going through, and hopefully she'll be back on the pitch and back managing one of the best sides in the WSL soon. And yeah, let's go. Let's go.
We need to let go Chelsea, then I'm going to have a problem with you. But no, I just think it's so psychological. I think to an extent that's kind of what happened to Durham. You know, we just don't have issues with them, and irrespective of the fact that, you know, they lost against Palace at the weekend. They're not a good team, but for some reason we wobbled against them. So I just think that maybe it might be one of the things that might be a benefit to us. I mean, I think, to be honest, you know, if you look at it objectively, the game out of the top three, the team that we need to beat home and away is City, if you think about who's more likely to be third. But I've just realised, actually, Chelsea aren't unbeaten, are they? Because they lost their first game against Liverpool.
They're unbeaten in the last 4.
Right, okay, yeah.
From Liverpool.
Right, okay. Because I'm just thinking, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just thinking about that. So, yeah, I just think, I know we've got Chelsea, we've got Chelsea, we've got an international break, and we've got Arsenal away. Now, obviously, and then we've got what? Sorry.
Then we've got the Conti Cup.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better at the minute for me. I think. I think it's just a thing that's taking money out of my bank account than anything else. And then obviously the Old Trafford game as well after that. But I think as well, touch points on the game yesterday. I think if Honor's better, she's got to play. So who are your sort of defense in that respect then?
I think for me, if we're saying that Honor is back and she, you right there?
Yeah, I just have to do a bit of cleaning from my screen. Carry on.
No, I think if we are saying that Honor is back, I think we're going to say that it's going to be Honor right back, Hannah left back if she's fit enough, and then Miller and Laetitia going back to the original. But I think if Hannah is injured or she's picked up a slight knock, or if Mark wants to play, I think that I want Honor, but I don't want her to start. Yeah. Maybe might come in as a start or as coming off of the bench, because she has been playing well, especially last game. And I think for me, that's where it's going to have to be decided, because Hannah went off injured yesterday. She was injured in the Brighton game, because she went off at half time, and it's one of them that now we've played 3 games in a week coming up to the next game. We've got to think of relaxing, making sure players are getting rested as well, because we have got a national break coming up, and some players won't get played, won't have international, so they will get the rest, but others players will. And I think it's one of them where if we know that Hannah's injured, and we know the Norwegian squad was announced today, Marie Forrestdottir and Bolarisa have both been picked into that squad, which I'm happy for them. It's what they wanted. They never should have been dropped in the first place. And to see that they're actually in that squad, and to know what was said by Hegarisa that they weren't getting played, but now, and that's why they weren't getting picked. And For is getting played much more, and Vilda's coming on as a sub. But I'd like to see that she would start a little bit more. I think for me, For deserves to be in the squad, in the starting 11, with the way she's played. But I think that might be the only change, that For comes out and Battel is in.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, to be honest, obviously Honor's part of and solidarity to the Spanish players, but as part of the team of people who are not going to be playing for Spain because obviously they've Vilda situation at the minute. So you could argue that she will get that rest. I'm just looking as well at the Chelsea team. Obviously, we're going to have another grudge match because now she's playing again. Lauren James scored twice yesterday. It's 22nd, 47th minute as well. How do you think she's going to deal with her former club? Do you think she'll start? She started against Villa.
Yeah, I think she will. I think it'll be mind games if she doesn't start. I think for me, Lauren James is one of them now that she's into the England squad as well, and for her starting the games just proves that she's getting better and she's improving a lot. And last season she was affected by injuries and she couldn't have that impact for Chelsea. But now she is, and now she has that impact. She's showing what she is showing us, the Lauren James we know.
Yeah.
And it's good to see from a United perspective that she is showing us that. But I wouldn't want it against us.
Yeah, I'm going to say once they go out the door, I have that's the end of that in relation to me liking them as such, especially during the game. But I agree. I think that that's probably the fairer way of looking at it. For me, my concern about Chelsea is one of the things we have done the last couple of games that has been wrong is that we at certain paces we look like we lost a bit of pace. We didn't really do quick movements on the ball. We're not going to have, Chelsea and Arsenal are the 2 times each season when you're going to have the least amount of time on the ball. So if Skinner wants to do this player out at the back and heavy ball possession and waiting for opportunities football, then, with their defenders, their midfield, we could have an issue. But do you think we could switch back to a pacier game? Because I think we need to outpace them. We need to use the energy of a sold-out LSV. Because if we try and walk it around the pitch and into the net, I see problems.
I think for me, we are going to be pacey throughout the game, but it's going to be not consistent enough to what we want. But I think for me as well, I think it's the subs when they get changed. Like Lucia Garcia is quick. Leon is quick. Leah's quick. Nikita's quick. We're all quick. They're all quick. But against the Chelsea, against them wing players, some of them are quick as well. And we've just got to match it. And I think when we score 3-0, when we get to a point where we think, right, we're not going to lose the match now, we do slow down the pace. We defend a lot more, and that's where our pace lessens. But I think if it was like a 1-0 lead, like it was 2-1 or a 1-0 lead, our pace would still be the same pace as it would always be. And I think that we do need to up it against Chelsea, but I don't think we will.
Yeah, this is the thing, and Rabi's is saying they need to control the tempo of the game as much as they can. I think so, definitely. I think. I believe the issue is that the last couple of games where we did have issues, we got that 1-0 lead and we started acting like we were 3-0 up. And they've got a stronger bench than we have. So the best thing we can do is surprise and keep them on the back foot as much as we can. We can score early. Obviously, Russo came on. I mean, she didn't do particularly badly, but didn't particularly brilliantly either because she's coming back from injury yesterday. And she was just kind of feeding her way in, and I think that was the idea, really. But I think we can get a result against Chelsea. I actually don't think it's going to be if it's going to be a draw, it'll be a score draw. I don't think it'll be 0-0. I cannot see it as a 0-0. So it'll be 2-2. If it's a draw, I think it'll be a high scoring game. If it's a draw, it'll be 2-2 or 3-3 or something like that. I hope that we're going to obviously get the win. Obviously, Rob's got a good question here. Kerr, Kirby, and Bright are Chelsea's best players. What do you think? Well, I'll take the first part of that. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, they're the staging posts that you want to build every team around. That's the spine of your team. You'd add Berger to that list as number 1. So Bright is the best defender that Chelsea have got. You know, and all right, Kirby's an attacker, but she's, you know, attacking mid kind of player. So you say she's sort of the second part of the spine, and Kerr's the sort of tail, isn't she?
I think for me, I think Berger is definitely one of the best keepers in the world. I think then you've got the likes of Bright and Eriksson in the defence. And then you have in midfield, you have your likes of Sophie Ingle, who can shoot from a distance, Erin Cuthbert as well. And then, you've got Harder, Kirby and Sam Kerr, who are three of the best players. Yeah. And we know how Fran can shoot and how quick she is in getting into the box from when we've watched her for England. And hopefully she is fit enough to play. I know she's not been able to. I know she didn't play in the Champions League. I don't know if she did play in the League Cup yesterday, but she's probably one of their very good players in terms of the aggression and the passing. And she doesn't always want, for me, Kirby doesn't always want to shoot. She doesn't always want to score. She's one of them players that she is a team player and she passes the ball a lot. But I think without Kirby, I think you'll have Lauren James in that area.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's an interesting question as well. There's a couple actually going in the comments on here asking about who's a better keeper, Earps or obviously Berger. I mean, I'm always going to say Earps. You're more objective than that. You're probably going to say Berger. I think what the point is that they're both strong They're both roughly there and thereabouts even. There's not a drop off. There's not one keeper is at this level and the other keeper is at that level kind of thing. That was it. It was from Rob there.
I think for me, they are both good keepers, but one's better in one way and another's better in another way. And I think you've got Mary Earps, she's very good. She's loud in the area. You can hear her when she plays. And for Berger, she's had to go through so much that she's had to miss games, but she's been there at all times, and she's very tactical. She's very open-minded as well, and very good in the air, like in terms of catching and stuff. And she's a lot taller than Earps, I think, as well. So she's got that height in terms of having to be able to catch it and the long distance throws and stuff. So they're both different they're both good in different ways. And for me, Earps for me is obviously the one I would choose, but Berger's a very close second.
Yeah, and obviously Ravi here talking about Muscovich. I think this kind of proves the point that I was making on the Conti, that people forget that she's number 2 because it's less of a drop off, whereas people very clearly, if you know Man United, know who the number 1 goalkeeper is. But obviously, I think if Berger's healthy and fit, then Muscovich will be on the bench. Solid, doesn't make mistakes. Good point, Andrew. There. If she does make mistakes, typically it's when the ball gets passed to her in a rush and she's got to do it with her feet. But actually, we were doing a lot of that at Everton, and she looked pretty solid. If anything, it was the other defenders that were giving me more heart attacks at certain points. I mean, interesting sort of slight deviation here. Who's worse, Leicester or Brighton? Leicester, by an absolute mile. Brighton, to be honest, is a team that every United fan should look at, because it is basically us in a different uniform if we don't keep investing and keep growing. Basically, what Brighton is a warning from history. This is what happens when you let your best players go and do not replace them. Cough, cough, Maya Letitia for them, obviously. They've also lost Polly Bancroft, who's now our director of football. And obviously, based on the speed of, as much as if we lose 8-0 against Chelsea, I'd be saying Skinner needs to go because I'd be so upset. It's quite rare for a manager to be chucked out in the women's game so quickly. Now, I appreciate it's changing. So there's probably a few other things going on at Brighton at the minute as well. But I think I think Leicester is very much the weakest team in the league, and should really go down at the end of the season. But obviously, we are still just in October, just about.
I think for me, again Leicester are probably one of the weakest in the league. I would love to have Jess Sigsworth back, obviously ex-United for us, and obviously our Carrie Jones.
You're just like one of those proud mums that want the kids back when they've gone and got their own house and stuff like that. I don't think she's good enough for the United. Carrie Jones, I agree, but Jess Sigsworth, I'm not. I don't know. I think we're past that level, but. Oh, sorry. Carry on. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. I was just saying, but so I didn't imagine you were saying. So you were saying about Carrie Jones?
Yeah, I think it's obviously we've got a lone player on at Leicester with Carrie, so obviously it wouldn't be nice to see her go down. Even though she's back she'll be back with us anyway. But yeah, they are one of our weakest. They are one of the weakest teams in the league, and I think as well. I think Brighton, Holt Powell has just resigned from managerial. She didn't get the sack, which most people did think she did, but she didn't. So I think she could. I know she wants the Everton job, or I've seen that she wants the Everton job. But she could also go for the head of women's football at Brighton, knowing that there's a spot available. But it's one of them. It's for me. I think they're both teams that need that improvement. And yes, we have took one of Brighton's best players in terms of Letitia off them. But I think it's one of them that they knew that she needed more game time. She wanted to go to a bigger team for that. She wants to get into the England squad, and her moving to a bigger club was going to get her that potentially. But yeah, like I was saying about Leicester, I would like to. Obviously, I think they will go down this season. Yeah, Jess Sigsworth is one of our ex-players, and it wouldn't be nice to see her go down. But obviously, it's part of the game and stuff. And obviously, like I said, we've got Carrie Jones in terms of that on loan there, and obviously, again, it wouldn't be nice to see her go down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you got Robert here who's supporting what you're saying about Sigsworth. I mean, yeah. I mean, the problem is that after she went, we had no keeper, we had no attackers, and we did the false nine for 6 months. So I think it's probably quite hard to compare. And I know, I mean, I just think, I mean, this is at the end of the day, this is why I think we've now got the director of football in place. But, a lot of fans, to an extent, I've been, like guilty of it as well, can be a bit sentimental for the OG 21, the original 21 squad. But as I've always said, I think we've said it on multiple podcasts, that was a squad brought together by Casey Stoney to win the championship. And yes, not all of them were that level. Some were a lot better players, hence why obviously Leah Galton's still there, Ella Toon's still there, Millie Turner's still there. But I think it's natural that sort of with the number of seasons that we're in, we're going to have people that have moved on from United, Amy Palmer, and people that have moved on from United that you could argue shouldn't have moved on. If you look at how they're playing now, the big example of that being Ebony Salmon, who actually we just got them a bit too early. And if we got them now, then, should be probably up there with Russo in relation to our best attacker.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, we can say about the OG 21s in that we got them for the championship, but we also got it based on what we wanted in the first or a couple of seasons into the WSL league, because we didn't know how much budget United Women were going to get, so they had to get them certain players, and if we obviously Ebony didn't play for us, and I think that's one of the biggest losses we've had.
Yeah.
She's got to do the great things, and I would hope that she would come back. I would, but I don't think she will.
No.
A lot of us love Ebony Salmon. She's playing great at Houston. She's finally getting into the England squad and getting that recognition for all the hard work she's done. Same with obviously Amy Palmer is doing really well at Bristol, but unfortunately she's had ACL injuries. Same as Jess, obviously she didn't play the last half of last season through an ACL injury, but until then she was playing really good. She was playing at a decent pace, and it was the Jess that we knew. And I think Jess left on as a free transfer. But I don't know, because I don't know if anyone knows why Jess left. But I think it's more that maybe Jess wanted to move on and play for a different team. But for me, at that time, I don't think we should have got rid of Jess, because, like Andy did touch on, when we got rid of Jess, we didn't have a lot of attackers to back that position up. And it was one of them that it was like, why have you got rid of Jess when we've got no attackers, when we've got no one brought in to replace her? And that, for me, that was where we were worried about. And now, obviously, looking forward, we have built up on that. We have got them players that can play in them positions, but it's taken time. It's taken Casey Stoner and it has taken Mark Skinner, both bringing in players to get us to where we are. And it wouldn't have happened without the OG21s. We wouldn't be where we are without them. And I think, for me, there's some players that, like Andy said, that stick around or that we keep, and then there's some players that we've got too early, and then there's some players that leave and you're like going, why did they leave, or good luck to him, or we don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
We've not got that backup placement for that player. So for me, it still hurts that we did lose Jess, because we didn't have a backup for her, but she's gone on to do good things at Leicester. But unfortunately, like I said before, she got an ACL injury last year, so hopefully she'll be back playing very soon, and she'll be back doing what she loves to do.
Yeah, and obviously it's funny because it actually goes quite quick when you're doing this, and I think we said we'd do a bit of a shorter pod than we would normally with Maisy not being here, but I see we've already done pretty well already. But I just want to bring up Andrew's point there and answer Rob's question, and then we'll go for score predictions on Chelsea. Unless you're going in the summer, we think, well, we've touched on it before. I think that it's a discussion that United might have with her. I think the discussion becomes easier if we're still in the position that we are now at Christmas and we're topping the table. Then that's a big ask. I appreciate, but if we beat Chelsea at home, if we beat Arsenal away, and we go, and obviously we win the Old Trafford game, which is against Villa, but still, it's not a bad idea. England goes well when they're in Spain. She'll obviously play at least one of those games. You imagine. You'd imagine that United are going to push the issue at Christmas, because if she is going to go, you don't want to get rid of her with no money. So they'll probably push the issue at Christmas, and I think it's going to be down to the player. I think if Alessia goes, then I think it would be universally the fan base would go mental, including me, and I think Skinner would have a big problem. Mm-hmm. But it depends who they bring in. If that was the case, I don't think we should get rid of it. I think we should build a team around her and Tooney. Tooney's had a bit of a weak couple of games. If you look at some of the stats we did on the watch along and stuff, she's not been the Tooney cell so far. She might be running out of energy a little bit. She needs to be maybe rested a bit, but not for Chelsea. And to answer, I'll let you touch on it as well, Chloe, in a second. But to answer Robert's point here, no, she is an American import. She's not American. She had a college system. Maybe you can explain that while I just get rid of an interesting person in the comments.
Yeah, Russo, I think, was in the under squad, like in the under 18 squad, and then I think she got a scholarship to go to America and play in college in America, and then we brought her back to play for us. So yeah, I think Nessie is part of the youth squad like Katie Zellen was and Ella was, but she's not actually from the academy itself. She came from America, from the college team in America.
Yeah, and I suppose maybe that's an interesting. Again, we could go on for hours, but very quickly, that's the interesting way. In the old days, really, when the WSL didn't pay, you would go get your college degree in America. You get a chance to play and pay in the NWSL, or obviously come back to the WSL. It's interesting to see whether or not we'll get more players going down that road. Because at the minute we are struggling to get people from the youth team up straight into the first team. They might have to do that, and because pretty much Russo came ready to sort of just go when she came back from college. So as I say, looking at the score predictions, then I'll let you start, and then I'll come up. So I'll let you have the floor. What do you think for the score prediction?
I'll just touch on the first question.
Yeah, sure.
Question. If you can put it up again for us, Andy.
The
one before
that one.
Yeah, that one. I think for me, if Leslie does go, she's going because of Champions League, because we've not got it, and that's a decision that she's got to make in January. I think for me, I think now we've got Polly Bancroft. I think we've got that desire to put down players' contracts, because we've got the likes of Leslie and Honor who both have contracts up and who both can leave in January, either on a fee or pre-contract sign with someone. And I think if that happens, I think it's more likely going to be Honor that's going to leave to go back home to Barca. But with Leslie, I think she's going to make her decision before the World Cup. With it obviously being in Australia, I can't see it being made after. And for me, I can't see her going. I think she just wants a better wage or something better, something long term. So hopefully, Polly Bancroft can work her magic and work that out for us, because I think she knows how much the fans love Leslie, and obviously the Leslie in Tune song means a lot to us United fans, and I know obviously it means a lot now to the England fans, because obviously it got quite big in the Euros. So I think keeping Nessie at United with Tune would help a lot with England, and we do definitely need to sign her down. So I don't think she will go in the summer.
So score predictions?
Oh, score prediction. I'll go 2-1 United.
Glad I let you go first, because that's what I was thinking, actually. Obviously, Andrew there going 1-1 could happen, to be honest. And I get a bit cranky when things like that happen. So I don't know if you will be Chloe will probably be giving me the face she gave me earlier and be saying I should be happier because it was 1-1 and all that kind of stuff. I can see that happening. 2-1 or 3-1? I'd love 3-1. The only problem is I imagine that I'd then wake up and be ready for the game. I don't think it's going to happen in reality. I think 2-1 I have a strong feeling towards could happen. As you got a little mascot going there. Could ask Spot what their view is. One nod for 1-0 United and all that. I think if not 2-1, and I'll just go different just because it's more interesting. I do like 2-1. I do like 2. I'm feeling 2-1.
I can say my other prediction if you want me to say that.
Yeah, go on, what's your other prediction?
My other prediction is a 2-2.
That was another thing I was going to say, actually. Yeah, but I would say 2-1 because that is also the score that it all went wrong for them when they played against Liverpool. So I'd say 2-1, but most likely, I know we didn't go into this much detail normally, but most likely maybe us get the 2 goals, they get an equaliser, and we all go grey for 20, 30, 40 minutes until the final whistle.
Agreed. But I think for me, I'd like us to either go in at half-time 1-0 up, or go in at half-time as a 0-0, as a draw, and then come out second half fighting for it and being the team that can either hold Chelsea to a 0-0 draw or beat them and get that last-minute goal. So
yeah, and I think it's going to be such a big event, and we'll just have to see what happens with the fallout now. Or as Rob points out clearly, as long as we get the 3 points, I wouldn't give a damn if it was 1-0. But I just don't see that scoreline with what's going on. Obviously, thank you for everyone in the comments for putting up with us without Maisy, the main sort of attraction. We're just sort of like sideline normally, but we appreciate it. Obviously, I think she may have other people as well doing various things, but certainly we'll be back to dissect the Chelsea game and technically preview Arsenal. But depending on what happens, it might be a lot of dissecting of Chelsea and less preview of Arsenal. But we'll all find out going forward. Appreciate you guys having a chat and listening to what we're saying. Obviously, Chloe, just shout out your socials, and obviously thanks for coming on. Otherwise, it really would have bored everyone to tears. It was me monologuing for 47 minutes.
Thanks for having me on, Andy. Like just touching on what Andy was saying. Thanks everyone for being in the chat. Having us two chat your heads off. Without the Queen herself, Maisy being, and hopefully Maisy is watching in San Francisco. At least she will catch up on it and then tell us how we did on the podcast. But yeah, my social is Chloe Riley 14 on Twitter, and thank you for having me on. Yeah,
and mine's down there at AJ_87, which is currently my Twitter handle, and it's technically my personal Twitter page. But depending on what day it is, it's got a lot of United on it. It's got other stuff on it as well. But okay, right, that's great, everyone. We will see you, hopefully, fingers crossed, after a Chelsea win. But thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.